Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you a profit update for my Bitsgap Buy the Dip grid bot, which I deployed 1 month ago with the objective of accumulating BTC or Bitcoin in profit. Now, if you missed that video on how to actually set up one of these Buy the Dip grid bots on the Bitsgap platform, I will drop a link in the description down below. But with that being said, you might want to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Now, if you're not familiar with Bitsgap, they are basically an all-in-one automated crypto trading platform, but they're probably best known for their grid bots. Now, you do not actually send any money over to Bitsgap. Your money stays on your exchange, and you basically connect your exchange to Bitsgap via API keys. Thus, your funds stay on your exchange and are as secure as they can be when being held on an exchange. And with that being said, you can also start in demo trading mode for these grid bots, so you could test out your grid bot strategies before you submit them to live fire. So if you're wondering what type of investment is required to get started, actually you can get started for free, and I will drop a link in the description down below. And if you use my link in the description down below, you will have access to their Pro plan, which also gives you the trailing up and trailing down features, and it's the plan that I actually use as well. So that's enough jaw-jacking. Let's get into the numbers. But before we do, if you're not familiar with how a grid bot operates, it's extremely simple. It buys the dip and sells the rip back up. So it buys low and sells high. Now, a grid bot is made up of open limit orders, which are represented by the green lines and the red lines you see here on the chart. The green lines are your open limit buy orders, and the red lines are your open limit sell orders. So when the price drops or dips, you're buying low each time it hits one of these green lines. And then when the price reverses back towards the top side and starts hitting the red lines, you're selling and capturing profit. Now, the difference between the Buy the Dip grid bot versus your traditional grid bot is when you're selling for profit, you're capturing profit in your base currency instead of the quote currency. For example, if you were trading BTC USDT, USDT would be your quote currency. So with a traditional grid bot, you're actually capturing profit in USDT. With the Buy the Dip grid bot, you're accumulating BTC in the form of profit. And again, I do go into more details on the Buy the Dip grid bot in the setup video, which again, I will drop a link to in the description down below. Alright, so with that all in mind, we'll jump over here to my Bitsgap GridBot dashboard, and you can see the GridBot details for Buy the Dip. This is the bot I deployed 1 month ago. The bot type was obviously a grid bot. The strategy was Buy the Dip. I deployed this bot on the Binance US exchange. The pair I deployed this bot on was BTC USDT. The profit currency, now this is where it's different than a traditional grid bot. The profit currency is BTC. And then when I deployed the bot, basically I deployed the bot with 625 USDT. Now I didn't have any BTC, so it had to use some of those funds and go out and buy this amount of BTC. And then I still had $341 approximately in USDT orders in order to buy more BTC. And then the number of grids for this particular grid bot was 11 grids. And then the grid spacing for this particular grid bot was 3%, which is the space between each one of these lines that you see on the chart here. It is a 3% space between each one of these grid levels. And then the high price for this particular grid bot I set at around 47,000, and the high price mode was fixed, so that would have been the top of my grid. If the price went above that, my bot would stop trading. And then my low price was around 34.7, and I had the trailing down mode enabled, so it would continue to follow the price down and continue to buy at a lower price. Now, if you take a look down here at the bottom of the screen, you can see my BTC USDT grid bot is currently up approximately 2.25% with bot profit of 2.71%. So what that basically means, had I not deployed the grid bot and just bought and held, I'd actually be down. The only reason I am currently up is because of the grid bot profit for this particular grid bot. And then the average daily return for this grid bot is only 0.08%, so that is not really meeting my expectations as far as a daily return. And you can see I've had this grid bot deployed for 1 month and 1 day. Now, if we jump over to the details and give this a click, that will pull up a little more detailed intel for this particular grid bot. Now, when I originally deployed the grid bot, my initial funds, had I just bought and held, I would actually be down 0.54% on this particular grid bot. That is where the grid bot profit comes in at 2.71% and then giving me a actual P&L of around 2.25%. You basically would subtract this initial fund amount from your grid bot profit and end up with your current funds. Now, I know a lot of you grunts get tripped up on how Bitsgap reports profit. At the end of the day, the only profit that really matters to you should be this total P&L. That is your profit or loss at the end of the day if you were to close the grid bot and get flat or sell all your positions. This is the number that means the most. This number, while it plays a factor in your total P&L, can be somewhat misleading if you don't understand how to calculate profit. And if you don't understand how to calculate profit, perhaps you should be trading in demo mode until you actually get a grasp on how to calculate profit. Now again, the initial funds that I invested was around 625 USDT. The bot, when I deployed it, went out and bought some BTC and then held some USDT for the purpose of buying more BTC. And so if I compare my initial funds to my current funds, my current balance of BTC, you can see, is now around 73.6566 versus 69.4987, and my USDT is around 341 USDT versus 340. So the USDT amount is actually pretty much the same from when I deployed this grid bot 1 month ago. The real difference is I now hold more BTC, and again, at the beginning of the video, I said the objective of this grid bot is to accumulate more BTC, which it has accomplished that objective, and I actually still have around the same amount of USDT as when I started. Now, all these values are being shown, if you look up here at the right-hand corner of the screen, in BTC, as that is the profit currency for this particular bot. But in reality, I deployed this bot and bought BTC with USDT. So if I click on USDT, this actually gives me a little more accurate picture if I were to sell all my BTC right now and still had my USDT that I currently hold. My current profit measured in USDT would be 3.28%. And so this 3.28% would be about a 1% bump over the BTC 2.22% that it's currently showing in BTC values. So again, if I close this bot and sell the BTC I currently hold, and then also obviously I would have the USDT that I currently hold, I would be up 3.29%. And so overall, this bot did accomplish its objective, albeit it wasn't a huge percentage of a win. But nonetheless, in a 1 month period of time, I was able to pick up just over 3% profit. That is better than the buy and hold strategy, because your buy and hold strategy are these figures over here, and you would actually only be up around 0.48%. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to give you all a quick update on how the Buy the Dip grid bot was actually performing. So if you like this video, do me a favor and spike a like. If you're interested in these type of videos, you might want to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Now, if you have questions or comments, drop those in the comment section down below, and I will drop a link to Bitsgap in the description down below. That all being said, at the end of the day, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.